You would like me and my kids, which were named on the eviction notice, all other occupants, to leave the home that we've been living in since 2010 so you can move in here. And you are solely one person?
I'm not the owner of the home. I had nothing to do with the eviction. But since you are being evicted, yes, I may move down to that home, which my parents own.
She divorced him thinking that she would keep the house, only to be surprised when she was told that it belonged to his parents. Now she will have to leave as they want their property back.
You would like me and my kids, which were named on the eviction notice, all other occupants, to leave the home that we've been living in since 2010 so you can move in here. And you are solely one person?
I'm not the owner of the home. I had nothing to do with the eviction. But since you are being evicted, yes, I may move down to that home, which my parents own.
Who's paid the bills here for the last, since 2010?
Who's paid the bills there?
Yes.
I've paid bills.
Yes, you have. Who paid for the remodels that have happened to this house? Probably over $60,000. Who paid for those?
I have no knowledge of $60,000 worth of remodels, but what's the relevance?
Did you get new windows in the house?
Objection, Your Honor. I don't see how this is relevant.
Okay. Ma'am, how is it relevant, any improvements or repairs to the house?
Because this was our home. This was Michael's home.
She is so confused. The fact that he was paying the bills and the house renovation doesn't automatically mean that he became the owner. Was she expecting his parent to give him the house to live in and still pay all the bills? It just doesn't make any sense. Since they gave him a place to stay, the minimum he should do is maintain it, which includes covering the bill and any maintenance it needs.
Well, ma'am, if you could present any deeds or anything like that showing that it's deeded to his name or the two of your name, then the court would again entertain that, but you've not produced anything to that extent. So the court will sustain the objection. You'll have to move on.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
The judge laid it out perfectly. You need to provide some sort of evidence for the claims you are making. You can't say that he is the owner when you don't have any evidence to validate that information. Did she believe she was going to divorce him and take his parents home? Feels like him and parents clearly thought this may occur, so nothing in his name. Clearly, this was the correct decision. I want to divorce her too. I don't want to watch her anymore, but I am too invested. Felicia have to quit touching her hair.
How many assets of ours have your parents had in their name? The Buick you drove since 2011 when you got it until you changed it into your name was not driven by you? And
That
you
was-
only?
It wasn't my asset until I bought it off of them. And then, yes, the title was transferred into my name. That's how it usually occurs.
It says that it wasn't bought for anything on the paperwork. Is that a lie?
Objection, Your Honor. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I didn't catch that either, ma'am. You'll have to re-answer it so we can hear.
In the transfer papers, it said that it was not bought for anything. It wasn't paid off. It wasn't your credit cards that paid on that or your money that came from an account sent over to your mother's account to pay for it.
I didn't send any money to my mother's account.
How did you pay the bills here? How'd the money get to them?
She is looking for anything she can get her hands on to prove that he owns the house, so she can claim her part. But she is failing because paying the bills won't make him the owner.
Bills go on my credit card that I pay.
The bills that are in your mother's name.
Well, some are in her name, some are in mine.
Isn't it true only the trash is in your name?
I would have to go through the bills. The ADT is in my name as well. There's more
Yes,
than
because
just the trash.
did we not put the ADT in? Did we not have that installed?
I can't imagine how their co-parenting will go. Why is the judge letting this go on? I have heard nothing about the kids, just money. She can't expect to keep living in his parents' home. The judge should tell her straight up, nothing inherited is yours. The end. It's the mediator's facial expression that gets me. He is like, what does this have to do with anything? If you are living in a house, you can do improvements, pay utilities, and it still does not belong to you. There are two possible sides to this story, but first, let's clarify that when she met him, he was already living in that property, which explains why she didn't even know who it belonged to. Now let's talk about the possibilities I have mentioned. The first option could be related to the fact that he and his family already predicted what was about to come, and they decided to make this move to protect the property he already had, even before meeting her. They knew after leaving him she would want to take the house, and this is something he wasn't willing to deal with. He probably worked his entire life to buy his house. Therefore, giving it to someone who did nothing to acquire it didn't seem to be a fair deal. If he didn't have a house when she met him and together they bought it, it would be a different story. But since she didn't have any contribution to its acquisition, he didn't think that she should be the one keeping it. The second option could be that it always belonged to his parents, and they gave him access to it just to support him as he needed a place to stay. So, since she noticed that he didn't pay rent, she automatically assumed that it belonged to him, not knowing that it wasn't the case. Now that they are no longer together, it's up to his parent to decide who they will allow to live in it. Tell me in the comments section what option is more likely to be theirs. But in my opinion, it's the first one. The interesting part of this video was when she found out that it wasn't in his name, but somehow she was trying to make a case about it. It's like she was somehow feeling entitled to his parents' house. You can't divorce your spouse and get someone else's property. Did she really expect to divorce him and take his parents' house? This is not how things work.
Am I the asshole for hiding my savings from my fiance?
Ooh.
I recently got engaged to my fiance after 2 years of dating and told her we should probably start looking at houses. She told me that we didn't have the money for a deposit on a mortgage, but I personally have a lot of money in savings. I've got a little more over $160,000.
160,000.
My girlfriend was initially just shocked because it's a lot of money for a 24-year-old to have saved. I've been extremely lucky in life. After a couple of days, she began to be annoyed at me. She felt like I was hiding this from her. I told her I didn't hide it from her. I was just raised to not talk about personal finances with anyone other than someone you're married to. And I figured engaged is close enough that I'm happy to talk about it. I also said that I had actually used these savings to help her before. I'd paid her rent a few times when she couldn't afford it and paid a couple thousands of dollars for her dog to get surgery.
Hey.
She was still quite angry and has been giving me the silent treatment for the past day. My parents don't see the problem. Her parents understand my perspective, but
She is mad because she wasn't able to get her hands on his savings. Why should he open up about his finances when they weren't living together? This is the reason most prefer to keep this subject private.
I think I should have told her when we moved in together last year. None of our friends know because I don't feel comfortable talking about it with them. I've already asked her if we can talk about it when she's ready, and she just said she'd let me know when she was. I don't think this is relationship ending, but I know she probably wants me to admit I was wrong. I don't think I've done anything wrong, so I'm just asking you guys more so out of curiosity for what others think. What do you think about that?
She is showing you her true colors. How are you going to be mad at me for being responsible? He needs a prenup as soon as possible. She's demonstrating in real time why he doesn't discuss his finances with anyone. She's mad. She didn't know he had more money she could spend. She's overreacting. He's a good man. So she was fine being with someone who can't put a down payment for a house, and mad realizing he can? She has no reason to get mad at him for not talking about the money he saved even before start dating her. People usually show us their true colors, but normally we just ignored it to avoid discomfort. But in most cases, we are doing a disservice to ourselves. Why would you have this reaction when we are not even married or live together for a considerable time? Why was she concerned about his finances at this stage of their relationship? Most already know the answer. She is mad because he didn't give her access to that cash. How come most people understand his position but her? She wanted to be able to put her hands on his savings, but as he decided to keep his things private, She felt like he prevented her from spending more money. She should be happy to know that she is with someone who is really responsible, as not many people can have this level of discipline when it comes to spending. And it's something to celebrate, not get mad about. This young man will need a prenup because, as we can see, she thinks that she is entitled to the money he saved even before knowing her. And it's also a good indication that things won't be easy as the relationship progresses.
I left my 28-year marriage because there was a Porsche in my driveway. And I was upset that he completely left me out of this entire Porsche episode. I am so much happier being able to express my feelings.
My man regrets not having bought a Porsche years earlier, I swear. Now he has a Porsche and options. This should be a commercial. If the bills are paid, emergency funds secured, has investments, and it's his money, then what's the issue? Driving the Porsche and not hearing the yap sessions anymore. That man won. He won 3 times, you just can't see the passenger's head. She doesn't know it, but I think he ended up winning twice with this purchase. He got himself the car he probably wanted for a long time, and he was just not able to get it. So I can imagine the level of satisfaction after this acquisition. He also won when she decided that she had enough. Since she left him for this reason, it means that her feelings for him weren't as strong as they should be, so he didn't lose anything. Who would want to be with someone who filed for divorce just because their spouse bought a new car? If that was something that bothered her, she should talk to him about it. That would be a better approach, instead of leaving. So it was a win-win situation, and now he is free to find someone to enjoy his Porsche with, someone who will love and appreciate him as he deserves.
I am so much happier being able to express my feelings.
That was the best part of this video. If she is a lot happier, she doesn't know how he is feeling after this episode. He is for sure living his best life, enjoying every single minute with his new toy. But I am glad that both of them were able to find their happiness. At this point, that purchase came on the right time, and I bet he regrets not having bought it years earlier.
Welcome to our self-development section. Depending on who we are and what we want to accomplish, we need to be aware that everything counts. So we need to ensure we are doing things that are getting us closer to our destination.
And here's an important point. If what you are doing is not moving you towards your goals, then it's probably moving you away from your goals. Nothing is neutral. Everything that you're doing is either moving you toward the things that you want to accomplish in life, the person you want to be, the wealth you want to accumulate, or it's moving you away. Everything counts. The law of accumulation says that everything counts.
He explained it clearly. Whether we are aware of it or not, everything we are currently doing will somehow affect our life. You need to think about your daily actions. You need to be serious about them so you don't waste time doing things that won't help you on your journey. First, you need to know what you want. You must have a goal because you will never hit a target you don't have. After that, there will be a need to identify what it will require of you. Once you have those 2 steps sorted, you are ready to keep a close look at what you do daily. And this is when you will be able to identify whether the things you are currently doing are getting you close or far from your goals. Everyone who made it knew about this principle and they took advantage of it. This is how they became effective and eventually achieved their goal. They ensured that their daily actions supported what they want to accomplish. So you will have to do the same thing if you ever want to reach your destination. Stop wasting your time. This is all for today's video, and we hope you like it. Make sure to subscribe to our channel on your way out.